Change is hard, especially when it's not necessarily our choice to make. Now, I've had a lot of change in my life this year. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ebubé. I'm an R&B singer, and I was part of an R&B group called No Guidance. And a decision was made for me to no longer be part of the group. And that's a really big change, and it's like a change that could so easily derail somebody, especially if their mind is set on that one thing, and if that's like literally everything for them. But I wanted to make this video because it's been a lot about embracing change these last few months and embracing the positives of what's happening, even though at first sight you might think this is just a negative thing. Change is especially hard when you are laser focused on that thing and that thing doesn't give you the result that you were expecting or you were anticipating. And this could be anything from like your relationships. If someone leaves you when you really thought this was going to be the time, this was going to be the it for life. Your friendships, so a friend does you dirty, or like, you can't trust a friend anymore. If it's even like your family, all of these things, especially when you're locked in on them and then they don't work out how you expected, it's really difficult. And in my case, it was in work and in the career, but it could be for anything. But there's certain things that's helped me embrace this change and see the positives. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. And it's like what I've been up to and what's been helping, what's been, things to deal with. So firstly, I want to talk about the things and the people that have been able to help me go through a period of change. Reading especially into the principles of Stoicism. Now, a short version of what it is. Essentially, what some people might think is not having any emotions whatsoever and just being a completely boring and dull person. And that's couldn't be further from it. Well, it's not completely far off, but that's not exactly what Stoicism really is. I think how I see it is the perception of events in your life really determine how you can react to it. So in the sense of if something bad happens to you, you can perceive it as a bad thing that's happened to you. And in that sense, on your mind is gonna think this is the worst thing that's ever happened. But then if you perceive it a different way, in a way of like, okay, well, this has happened, at least this allows me to do this. This is like regulating your emotions, not getting angry because you don't need to get angry. You can choose to get angry for a certain outcome. And one specific quote when it comes to Stoicism that really is helpful in terms of this topic, and it's a quote from Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. It's all you need are these: certainty of judgment in the present moment, action for the common good in the present moment, and an attitude of gratitude in the present moment for anything that comes your way. So when it comes to change, and we're talking about things happening that you didn't necessarily predict, and it's, you might have lost your house, you might have had to move out. Like, that's what I've had to do. I had to move house, loads of things changed. It'll change your like financial life, it will change your actual living conditions, it changes everything. And this talks about your judgment in the present moment. If I'm just not letting those changes make you erratic or make you overly emotional about certain situations that you would act out where you don't necessarily need to. Then he goes on to say, it's action for the common good in the present moment. You still need to do good, Just because someone has done you dirty or someone has done something to you, you can stay on your morals of trying to be the good person and trying to be, not succumb to that bad that's been done to you, If you maintain that, you know that you're always going to be, and that's a constant that you can maintain throughout whatever happens to you. And then also he talks about an attitude of gratitude in the present moment for anything that comes your way. When it says anything that comes your way, even the things that you might think would be bad at first. So I can be grateful in terms of, you can perceive it as there's more freedom, or it now allows me to do this, it now allows me to do this. I'm working on this type of music when I wouldn't have been able to before. And it's like, you can perceive and be grateful for something in every little thing, Even if it's something so bad as, if you lose a family member or you lose a close one or a loved one, focusing on your gratitude for the life that they've lived. I know it's not easy, but the quote is basically saying if you can lock into that and you really get yourself in a mindset where you're able to focus on and be grateful for things, anything that comes to you, then that's all you really need. You don't really need anything material things or like searching for happiness when you're doing good, You know you can make decisions in terms of the certainty of judgment. You can make decisions and the right decision at any point, and you know you can be grateful no matter what happens. You know, it can't really go wrong. A few books that I've read that's helped me in terms of recently is the book, The Courage to Be Disliked. And one thing that this book says, and you'll see that they all begin to be linked, you know, it's all talking about the same principles. It says, we cannot alter objective facts, but subjective interpretations can be altered as much as one likes, and we are inhabitants of a subjective world. This again links to the quote that we were just talking about, Marcus Aurelius, in the sense that you can't change the things that actually happen. You can't change the weather, you can't change if you lose your AirPods or whatever. You can't change facts, things that have happened. What you can change is how you perceive them and how you interpret those things. So it's just an example, and it could be corny, but it's like, it's raining, oh great, well at least that means the grass is gonna be greener, or you know, little things like that. And that's not specifically what you should do, because obviously, like, you might think, what's the use of grass being greener to me? But you understand, like, it's the perception of how you spin it and interpret it away from how you would expect to interpret that event. Another book that I read recently, since everything's happened, is The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. And this really is focusing on creativity. And as an artist, what you should really be aiming for. It's hard with the music industry and how everything is in the music industry now to focus on the creativity aspect. It's really hard, especially when your creativity needs to make you your money. And in many ways, as is talked about in the book, it's almost better to have your source of income which funds your creativity. And then you can really be artistic and really be creative and really be free and create what you like on the side without the pressures of, no, this has to sustain my whole life. That's not necessary, you don't have to do that, but if you're in that situation and you're still working a job, it's not bad. It's not a bad situation, you might hate it, but in terms of the creativity and feeling free, it's helpful. And one quote is, failure is the information you need to get where you're going. Things might happen, it might not work out how you wanted it to work out, but it's literally the information that you need. So, okay, this didn't work out, at least I know this for the future. Each failure is gonna get you there. If you kept on being successful, you're never gonna learn. And then once something hits you, it's gonna hit you like a truck because you've just become used to everything working out your way. Another thing that's really helped me is having family close, having my girlfriend there to support me throughout, and having friends. You need to keep these people close to you. Even if something terrible has happened, you can't act up and like maybe start blaming it on people, taking it out on people that's close to you and that love you and that are there to support you. They've really been there to support when they didn't necessarily have to. So keeping those people close, those people to keep you grounded and also to bounce ideas off is really important. So the next thing that I really had to focus on to embrace this change in life is seeing it as a blessing in disguise. At first, you might think, oh, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. This person left me, this is awful, or oh, I can't believe they did me dirty like that. I trusted them, like in whatever situation that you're in. And in my situation, I've had to see it as a blessing in disguise and be like, okay, so this has happened. I didn't want this to happen, but it's happened. Let me just see the positive in what's happened. You can see, you know, the freedoms that some certain change is gonna give you, you know, that you wouldn't necessarily have had before. Say, I don't know, you live in a certain country and then you have to move country, for example, and you're like, nah, this is a big change and like, it's overwhelming. If you focus in on the things that are the blessings in that thing. You might think, oh, this is horrible. I've gone to somewhere where it's way worse than where I was before. I don't like where I'm living now. There's benefits and there's freedoms that it will give you that you didn't necessarily had before. Maybe you were stuck to a different job and you moved for work and your new job has given you more freedoms, or new people around you has given you more freedoms to do more activities that you wouldn't have done with maybe your old group of friends, or whatever it might be. Focusing on the blessings that it's given you. You know, it's really important. And here to quote the Bible in Matthew 15 verse 14, it says, leave them, they are blind guides. If the blind leads the blind, both will fall into a pit. If a certain situation is not serving you, if it's your friends or if it's a certain relationship or whatever it is, and it's really not like beneficial, and even if it's something where it's like, it's not even your choice, and it's like you're in a relationship, they leave you, or they've left. You know, they've made that decision to do whatever they want to do. And instead of seeing it as, oh, it's horrible, like, I don't know how I'm gonna like manage, I don't know how I'm gonna cope, you can see it as, it's a decision that's been made, you can't control it, and that's them. Their path is now different to your path. That workplace, they've decided to do that. They're gonna have a path. Your path is not gonna change as a result of their path. You always have to think of everything in perspective and everything as a blessing, because everything is a blessing if you perceive it that way. So to give kind of an update of what I've been doing since everything has been happening, I've been in the studio for a long time, been making so much music and really like figuring out the sound that I'm gonna come up with. It's been a lot of experimentation, it's been a lot of working through my mind of like what I wanna put out and like really play to my strengths, but at the same time trying new things and pushing limits. Being as creative as possible and like exploring ideas. We're making a project. The project, well, I have so much music. So much is ready and it's on the way. Just need to figure out other stuff. You know, the music is there. Like I've posted some like little snippets of stuff like on socials. So if you've been like the eagle-eyed will have seen some stuff. I've been producing a lot. For those that don't know, like I've been playing piano since I was 3. Guitar I've been playing 2. So I've really been locking in on that producing side. And yeah, I've had to deal with a lot of other things, which isn't music. Like we're saying, it's the change. And I've had to like go through that roller coaster of, okay, like, I don't know how to deal with all this change. It's overwhelming. And then realizing how to do this, how to embrace the change, implementing that, and then allowing that to boost me on to do what I need to do. And, you know, it's been about dealing with that, trying to build a team around me that's actually invested and actually respectful and like that we're really got common goals. So everything is being done in the background and the music is gonna be there soon. So you don't think that I'm doing nothing. A lot of building, a lot of trial and error, but where I have like so many projects worth of music ready. Like I just need to figure everything else out, like visuals, creative, all of that. And yeah, I got plenty more ideas. I'm gonna make more videos like this, more things that I enjoy, and just keep it to focusing on that. And if there's one thing that I can say to the end of this video is do the things that you enjoy, and anything that doesn't conform with that, don't prioritize it. You know, prioritize the things you enjoy, the things that make you happy, the people you love, the things you love to do, the things that is good for you. Prioritize your health, and yeah, you can be content in what you do and your life's experiences, even if like you don't have the means to do everything you want to do right now. One day you will if you keep working and you keep, you know, working towards your goals. So yeah, thank you for watching, and until the next time.